Hello, I'm Max24 and welcome to another video. Today we'll be ranking 70 X-Men, either being divine, excellent, good, in the middle, bleh, no, I hate you. Who are you? Let's start with no clue. Now let's start in second. We've got Callisto. I do like Callisto, especially in the 2003 Excalibur run. But she's never had anything really to stand out, so I'm going to put her in the 50-50 category. Don't know who they are. Cable. Cable, I would put in divine category. Oh, isn't this Deadpool's first wife? It's Vanessa? The one from the Deadpool movies. This is, I think, Vanessa from the Deadpool movies. Well, this is the character who is based on the Deadpool movies, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, I'm not trying to click on that. I would personally say Vanessa is a blah character. I don't really like her. Deadpool. Depends what iteration of Deadpool you've got. If we're going with modern Deadpool, he is overly annoying, way too talkative. But if we're going through 90s Deadpool, then he'd be up in the excellent. So I'm going to put him as a good. Like in the middle, it depends on the iteration. Domino. Domino I think deserves to be an excellent. Fire Fist. I personally find Fire Fist as just a no. He's not interesting. Same with Megasonic Teenage Warhead. Negasonic Teenage Warhead? Megasonic? I do not know how to pronounce it. Either way, they're down there as well. Shatterstar. This is Shatterstar. Longshot's the other one. I don't see Longshot on here though at the second. I may spot him later, but yeah, that's Shatterstar. I would say Shatterstar is a fun character, but I'd put him just above Deadpool in good. Oh, Yukio. Yukio. This seems to be Deadpool and Wolverine variant, not the Yukio from the original Wolverine miniseries. Original Wolverine miniseries, Yukio would be excellent. Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't really do enough for me to rate them, so I'm just going to put them in 50-50 behind Callisto. Now, I believe Cecilia Reyes. Cecilia Reyes is not really doesn't really do much. I'd put them down in just the 50-50. I think they'd go. No, they'll go between them. Danny Morningstar. Danny Morningstar is a decent character. I'd put them in the good category. Magic. I've never been a big fan of Magic. Magic has always been this kind of meh character for me, so I'm going to put her in blah just above Vanessa. Lockjaw. No, I'm not trying to move Callisto. Callisto, you're there. Lockjaw. I don't personally have many experiences with Lockjaw. I don't collect a lot of Kitty Pryde, but I think Lockjaw deserves to go in the 50-50 category. Wolfsbane now. Wolfsbane, I'd put them up in excellent, just behind Domino. Wolfsbane is an amazing character. Same with Sunspot. Sunspot, I think, is slightly behind Wolfsbane. Now, Cannonball, I know he goes with Sunspot a lot. I would rate him in top. Him, Cable, Gambit, Jubilee, and Captain Britain are like some of my favourite characters. Now, I do not know who this military guy's person is from looking at the small image, nor can I tell who this, or this are. I'm sorry to anyone who knows who these characters are. I just don't know them. Now, Silver Samurai. I do know Silver Samurai. And he's a good character. I'd put him above Deadpool, but not quite as high as Shatterstar. Silver Samurai is fun. I think this is Viper. Viper is I hate you. Not a fan of the no Germans. X-23. I saw my first experience with Wolverine, at least that I remember, was a title where X-23 was born. So I see X-23 about as highly as I see Wolverine, if not higher, and I'd put her in the excellent tier. Now, I do not know who that is off the top of my head. Beast. I know people are not going to be a big fan of this. I would put Beast in the no category. Is this Urg? I think that's Urg. Or that's just Calypso. No, wait, is that Calypso and that's Urg? They're such similar characters, but that's from the 2003 Excalibur one, which I was pretty sure that was the character from. Which now makes me questioning this is who I think it is. Either way, Urg and Calypso are I would rate the same. So I think that's Urg and that's Calypso. Or they're both Calypso and they're for some reason on here twice. Next up, Colossus. I hate you. Don't need to discuss that. He's just a terrible character. Always boring, always dull, never does anything that ever draws my attention the slightest. Now, Toad. Toad I don't have enough of him to give a strong opinion about, but I would put him in blah. Lady Deathstrike. Probably also in blah, but lower down than Toad. This one seems to be Sabretooth. Sabretooth I would put in the 50-50 between Lockjaw and Cecilia Reyes. Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is going top of excellent. Nightcrawler is going top of excellent because he is an OG Excalibur member. OG Excalibur member. Absolutely awesome. Juggernaut. Juggernaut is a... Why did it swap Juggernaut with Wolfsbane on there? But no, Juggernaut is straight divine. S tier, straight away. If you don't know, Juggernaut is amazing, like anti-hero. One of my favourite characters of all time. He is awesome. Gambit. Once again, straight S tier. I think he would go just below Cannonball, but he is in the top 4 currently. Multiple Man. Multiple Man, I think, deserves to be in the excellent tier. He's just a fun, rounder character, and he always I find him just an interesting character to learn about. Always want to know more about him. Never really get much about him. Do find his marriage slightly dubious, and slightly gross, but then again, I guess through retconning and time travelling stuff and all that gibberish, it's not as dubious and gross as it seems on paper, but still that's kind of the only thing that keeps him from Divine tier and being in what I would deem my top 5 characters. Everyone in Divine tier is my top 5 X-Men. I will, at the end, just double check. If there's not 5, I will double check whoever's top of excellent tier and put them in. Or if there's over 5, I'll move one of them down. But yeah, Iceman. I don't like Iceman. Iceman's very blah. I think Iceman goes there. The classic X-Men aren't doing too well. Beast and Iceman really low down. Jean probably just makes it onto the 50-50 section, but not by a lot. Yeah, the classic X-Men aren't doing well. We've got Scott Summers and Angel later of the classic X-Men, and Angel won't do well. Scott Summers might. I'll decide when it comes to that. But Kitty Pryde I think is a good character. Nowhere near my favourite, but it's a good character. One of the X-Men I would heavily support. Magneto. I'm not a big fan of like some of the stuff they've done with Magneto, but what they're doing in the current X-Men run with Magneto, really good, and I think that just bumps him into the excellent tier. Rogue. She is just behind Nightcrawler near the top of the excellent tier. She is one of the characters I have the most of. I think she's top 3 most appearing characters in my comics, alongside Storm and Wolverine, and she is awesome. I really like her character. Mystique. Not a big fan of majority of her appearances, but when you come to her X-Men Black Mystique one-shot, that's an amazing appearance, and I think that edges her just above Sunspot. Charles Xavier. I'll say just ahead of Viper. Not a good character, don't really like them. They're just sadistic and I just don't like him. Psylocke. If it was Quanon, Psylocke, they'd probably get 50-50. But I'm going to take this as meaning Betsy Braddock Psylocke because she's the more well-known Psylocke. And Betsy Braddock Psylocke, I think, makes herself into the excellent tier. She was in the title Uncanny X-Men 2003 one where, of course, I first saw Wolverine and Laura Kinney, at least that I remember. And she was really cool with her dynamic of Laura Kinney in there. So I am absolutely putting them together. Pyro. I really don't have much of Pyro. So he's going to be in the 50-50. But I prefer him to... Actually, yeah, I prefer him to Lockjaw. He's not quite Sabretooth. Scott Summers. Scott Summers, I understand gets disrespected. I do like him. But I think I like Shatterstar more. And even then, Shatterstar is not my favourite. Now this one's either referring to Danger or the Celestials. Not Celestials, the Sentinels. I'm going to take it as referring to the Sentinels. And I'm often on the fence with like how they use the Sentinels. Either the Sentinels can be really good or really bad. I'm never 100% certain which one I feel. But yeah, Sentinels will go in the 50-50 range. In between Callisto and Callisto. Sorry about that cut. I just had to try and figure out how to get rid of the ads. I did not succeed. So there's a weird ad at the bottom which I do not understand. But I guess when you're blocking all third-party cookies, they give you random ads. But yeah, now we're going on to Storm. I like Storm, but not that much. I think she would be in the low good tier. I know a lot of people really like Storm, but I'm not a big fan of Storm. She's a meh character. Now, Angel. Angel is at the very bottom of no. I just always find him annoying, irritating, and just never that likable. Maybe there's titles where he's amazing, but he's just never that likable for me, so I'm rating him lowly. Oh wait, that's probably King Bedlam, isn't it? Or Bedlam. I think that guy might be one of the Bedlams. I think those two might be the Bedlams. I might be wrong. I don't know a lot about the Bedlams, so I'm going off of who's the most similar to what I'm seeing here. And those look like the Bedlams. If they are the Bedlams, they would be up in the 50-50. Just above Yukio. But I'll leave them as are. I don't need to move them. Wolverine, I don't think I need to explain very much. Just behind Betsy Braddock. In the excellent tier. Amazing character. Really cool. Apocalypse. Apocalypse is up here. My main introduction to comics, at least the main ones where the first run that I actually read the whole of, actually the only one I read the whole of, is the Excalibur 2019 run. And Apocalypse is amazing in there, so Apocalypse is rated highly for that. Azazel, just a no. He's just a meh character. Blip, the teleporting lady. I don't remember her name exactly, but she's still 50-50. Blob. I loved what they did with Blob in the Krakoan era. I think he probably just edges out Magneto. Callisto. I think here's a good spot. He's an excellent character. He's really fun. No clue who Purple Man here is. Dazzler. Love her in the new Excalibur one, and in the what's it called, Exterminators one more recently. She's an amazing character. I would probably put her just between X-23 and Psylocke. Decent ranking. Emma Frost. She's in the no category. I just don't like Emma. She's always weird and annoying. No, I don't want ads. This is annoying. Well, I'll see if I can get an ad blocker before I record anything else. But this is really annoying. It's just constantly giving me ads. Havoc now. Havoc's just blah. There's not much to his character. I've not seen much that makes him interesting. He's just blah. Banshee. Banshee is probably one of my favourites, I'd have to say. I'll put him near the top of excellent because I think I just rather Nightcrawler and Rogue over him. And Jubilee, I think Jubilee is behind Juggernaut, who is, I think, Juggernaut's just before Cable, I think, and then Jubilee's just after. Basically, what I'm getting from this is Gambit, Jubilee, Rogue, Nightcrawler. If a title had all four of them, I'd really love it. Oh wait, the current Uncanny X-Men title. Yeah, this is basically just more proof why I really like that title, I guess. Oh well. Bishop. Bishop is a great character, especially in Children of the Vault, during the Fall of X. Absolutely amazing. I think he's just better than Apocalypse here. Torch. Torch just feels like, or Torch, Matchstick, whatever they call him. He just feels like a replacement Human Torch for the X-Men. Honestly, let's put him just before Iceman. I rather him to Iceman. Okay, this one can be one of two characters. There's a character who looks exactly the same as Beak's wife, and Angela, whatever, in Bishop War College, who only appears in Bishop War College as far as I'm aware, who looks the exact same as Angela, but I think it's probably Angela, aka Beak's wife, because I can't remember her whole name. She does have a bit of a confusing name, so I'm sorry to anyone who does know her. But yeah, either way, both characters are just ones I've never really been able to get myself interested into. I would probably put them just above Lady Deathstrike. I'm counting both of them for that because the characters look near the exact same. You find them in the comics and you will find they look nearly identical. It's really annoying. But that's just how things are, I guess. Quicksilver. I actually really enjoy Quicksilver. Not quite as much as Sunspot, but I really enjoy Quicksilver. Vortex. I'm just not a big fan of Vortex. Still better than Emma Frost, but not that big of a character. Scarlet Witch. I'd say she would. Oh, Scarlet Witch. I'd say she'd be the top of Blair. I just don't really care much for Scarlet Witch. Sage. Sage is an awesome character. Sage edges out Banshee up there. Actually, Sage is better than Rogue. If Cable and Jubilee weren't in this, Nightcrawler and Sage would be top 5 easily. And now I think that is what better. I can get rid of the ad. But yeah, this is my opinion on a lot of X-Men. Tell me if you agree or disagree with my listings. There is one X-Men that I am really disappointed isn't here, who I would personally put up here in Divine, knocking Jubilee down to the top of excellent, and that X-Men is D-Cell. You don't know who D-Cell is? You're missing out. It's from the Juggernaut run, just at the beginning of the Krakoan era, called Juggernaut. No Stopping Now. She is an amazing character. She has a cool power, and I feel like Marvel needs to bring her back and just use her. She is just such a cool concept, such a cool character. She would be perfect for bringing in. I could see her, given the right stories, she could easily become like the next generation, big mutant for the next generation. She is such a cool character, but instead they left her out, and they're bringing in other new characters. I just really want to see more of her. Out of all the X-Men who came from the Krakoan era, she is the one that I want to see the most. Like, I want to see back. But that's all for today. I've been Raptor Monster. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry about the annoying ads. And bye. Hope you have a good rest of your day. And adios.